That's the old guy at the end of the street again. Just wanted to come and talk to you about nuclear reactors in the neighborhood, data centers in the neighborhood, gas peaking plants in the neighborhood. There's a ton of stuff going on. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. It's all based on some speculation because the county has signed non-disclosure agreements with whomever they're talking about with whatever it is. So it's important that folks kind of have an idea anyway what's going on, and we can get a clue by looking at the technology overlay district as well as the building square foot per parking space ratio issues. And I just want to kind of point out where some of that information is, because best thing you can do is to get educated and find out about what is going on in our government that's going to impact the way we live, the way we get services, the way we ask for help. So some of those things are what I'm going to talk about today. Essentially, there's a bunch of things you can do. I'm going to list them in the remarks of the video, but essentially it's get educated, read what's on the websites, listen to the testimony, listen to your neighbors, listen to us, the people who are opposing this uncontrolled growth. Show up at the meetings either by sending an email or snail mail, or there's a petition going out. Use your voice, essentially. Sign the petition and go to the meetings. You don't have to speak, just go to the meetings so you can find out and you can show your supervisor that you're interested. Because right now they're sort of carrying these things, they've been carrying these things on, focusing only on the east part of the county when these issues really are for the entire county, for each one of us. Because being unsafe in the east is not going to help the folks in the west. I guarantee you, if they get nuclear reactors and the data centers and gas peaking machines, that most of the tax revenue will go to build up infrastructure and support for those entities, and aren't going to get even to the citizens here in the east, much less anything to the center and western counties. So there's a lot of information out there, and it's important that we sort of try to learn this stuff by talking with each other, going to the website, going to the Board of Supervisors meetings, the Planning Commission's meetings, every place you get a chance to meet and talk with the supervisor. I think it's important that you do. Get the word out to all your clubs, your friends, your churches, synagogues. Every place that you go and you meet people, strike up a conversation about what's happening with nuclear reactors and data centers and all that out on the east side. So just to give you an idea of where you can go, I'm going to put some links to information sources, resources down in the remarks, and it's gonna sort of bring you up to speed on where we are and how we're looking at data centers from a health and safety standpoint. It's easy to look at it like Loudoun County started off many years ago, where it was just was wild west. Any data center can come in that wants to. And so now what's happened is our power keeps going up and up and up. The cost of power, that is, keeps going up, because when Dominion builds data centers, no matter where they are in Virginia, we all of us get to pay for that. And when they regionalize it, when they look at how a particular region is developing electric systems, that region will have an even larger proportion of the cost increase. And so we're not going to be saving any money by having a higher electricity bill. And the water, you can do some research on the water. The water is a precarious thing for data centers. They will take the water. They will take it, and they have a higher priority for both electricity and water. So you know that if there's a demand on the electric grid for more power, the data centers are going to get them before we are. And if Dominion says that the demand, like during the heat of the summer, is so high, they can ask or tell the data centers that they're going to have to go to backup power. And so all those generators, and 18 to 25 generators per building, so imagine that, 54, 60 generators, diesel generators, all kicking off at the same time during the day or night, whenever the demand is the greatest. So we've got some information links to videos and info pieces on what it means to live next to a data center. The deal on showing up is it makes a powerful impact on supervisors and planners normally if a lot of citizens show up. And so many of us started showing up at the Sandy Hook Road facility, and they discovered that wasn't big enough. And so we went to the Goochland High School. And that was almost not big enough in the first one. The key is, because most of the folks don't like to drive at night or stay up late, so the key is if they can keep the meeting going long enough, we won't be able to stay there. Many of us tried. But let me give you a list of the meetings that are coming up that are also very important. On October 6th, this Monday, they're going to have a town hall, and at the town hall they're going to discuss some important things. Amongst them is education. There's some very, very cool stuff that Goochland school system is doing right now, and I think it's important that we all listen to that, because that's part of the equation. You know, having money to continue to improve our education system is really cool. And it's my belief that this school system is a top performer in the state. They've got some programs there that are outstanding, and Dr. Alexander, who is the superintendent, is going to talk about that. Probably at the end, they'll be talking about the technology overlay district. And of course, the main subjects there are putting in nukes and what it's going to be like to have a nuke in your backyard. And they'll say it's absolutely safe. Nobody knows because we don't have any. The world only has a couple, and they're not really in production. One in China, one in Russia. I'm not sure what the quality of the data is we're getting from those experiments. On October 7th, the Board of Supervisors is having their normal meeting. And I'm expecting that during the public comment of that, because anybody can go in during public comment and talk about almost anything unless it's part of the business of the night. If it's part of the business of the night, there's time set aside for that. But you can comment on anything to the Board of Supervisors. You get about 3 minutes, and you can talk about anything. So I'll probably go and talk about nuclear reactors in my neighborhood. And then the big vote is on November 6th. This is when the Board of Supervisors will consider all the information, the testimony, and the recommendation of the Planning Commission. It's an unusual thing because the Planning Commission heard nothing but negatives about their proposals, the square footage and the technology overlay district. Nothing but negatives. And yet, the impacted district commissioners, districts 3, 4, and 5, all voted to approve the unsafe modifications of the overlay district. So it'll be an interesting meeting on November 6th. I encourage you to do that. I think there might be some people out, hopefully marching with signs, not marching, but holding signs on public sidewalks in different places in the county. We want everyone to understand that this is a human problem. It's not a tax problem. It's not a government problem. This is a problem of humans being harmed by decisions made by the government. It's not a good look. So use your voice. There's a website to sign a petition, smartgrowthgoochland.org. And there's a petition on the Survey Monkey, and I'll put petitions that, or put the links in the remarks of that. And then I ask you to write your supervisor, write all of them, write, just write. And most especially, talk to your neighbors. Find out what their issues are. If they've got some good points that support nuclear reactors here in Goochland, then let's hear them. Let's hear them. I'm not a fan. I'm a supporter of nuclear energy, but these little generator-sized fuel modules to go around to, they'll take the fuel and go into a big facility, but the fuel will be driving through our communities on I-64 and who knows where else, because they'll be taking the new fuel and the spent fuel through our communities to get there. I can't imagine the security, the armed guards that'll be required, the extra lighting for security, the extra first responder emergency medical that will be required. And not just for us, this is Henrico and Powhatan and all the counties around us are going to be impacted by the decision of the Board of Supervisors to let nukes into this part of the world that have not been tested anywhere else. Anyway, please get involved. If you've got a question, leave a comment. We'll get it to the people. There's a team of us. None of us are experts. We're all looking at it from a different standpoint. But speaking of experts, some of the folks who testified, who gave their comments during the commissioner's hearing, were experts. Their neighbors living here who were sound engineers, nuclear regulatory engineers, nuclear power managers, data center managers, IT managers. These are the experts that testified against them here. And I'm guessing they're the only experts that the Board of Supervisors, the planning commissioners heard, because we saw no evidence of any expert testimony from anyone else. Anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned.